Hey, this is Charles from InfoSpike, and I want to give you this 2024 review of Katteb because a lot of things have happened since my original review. And I'd say that some of the complaints I've seen, they're not all about Katteb. It's also about the changing environment, especially when it comes to AI blogging and scraping content. So Katteb is popular for becoming a fact-checking tool. It allows you to create AI-generated content that is fact-checked, where hopefully you don't have to look at so much of the statements, the factual claims that it's made, and that it's accurate. But nowadays, I have to show you something that will help you create some accurate content because using the old approach, it doesn't work as good as it used to. And again, this is not Katteb's fault. I would say that it's more, again, about websites not allowing you to fetch or scrape their content. And that's very common, especially if websites think that you're grabbing a whole bunch of content from them. They're going to set up something to prevent people from doing that. But I'm going to show you some workarounds here. So let's go ahead and go over the process because uh, I'm going to show you something that I have shared with some of my students, and it's something when it comes to article writing, and you can utilize these ideas when it comes to writing your content using Katteb or any AI platform. So, for example, I'm looking at this news article here. It was posted 2 hours ago for California. I'm here in Silicon Valley. This article is about Central California. And so there's things that you should know. Just relying on a tool to do fact checking for you, what it'll do, it'll scrape the top results. But think about this. What if some of those results are outdated, especially if one supersedes another? And in this case, that was what happened. So if I look at the top, let's say 5 results, there are articles from 2 hours ago and there are articles from 2023. If you use just a regular fact checking tool, it may not have the ability to determine which article is better than the other, or which one is more accurate than the other. That's for you to actually read. Because if you think about, like, let's say using citations for a research article, you'll still have to go through that same process. You could find a source for your, like, let's say an essay. If you think about like old school stuff or like doing stuff in school, you'll look at the references. But again, if one reference is newer than another, there might be one, again, that supersedes that older one. So without getting too complicated here, I want to give you this example here. How would I go about it, especially if the article is on a website that blocks Katab or any other platform from fact checking it? So first of all, you want to create a new notepad um, article. This is a tool, by the way. It's called Notepad++. I use it on Windows. And I'm sure you'll find any code editor, plain text editor will help you do this process. So what I'm going to do is go to the article, especially the ones that are blocked. And when I say blocked, where AI tools aren't able to access them so easily. So I'll just copy the content. And then I'll go into Gemini, which is Google's tool. You can use ChatGPT if you want, but I'll say list all all facts from this content and paste it in. And then those are all the relevant facts, and there might be more too, but I'll go ahead and copy that. And then I'll go ahead and take off, here are the facts from the content. I'll just put the facts. Then I'll look at another article, and this one is from the Fresno Bee. So I'll go ahead and copy the content from here. Again, a lot of these news sites, they are blocking third-party tools from scraping their content, fetching their content. So this is what you got to do. And you copy that one. And just to reiterate what I'm doing something similar that I would do in just regular manual research. I'd be looking at all the information across multiple resources, references, and then find a way to write them in my own words. That's pretty much what I'm trying to simulate. But let's say if I find a third one, that's fine. But for this example, I just have two. And the reason why I'm doing it this way is because some of these AI tools, they have limits. And so what I'm going to do is in Katab, I'm going to open up snippets in a new tab, and I'll create a new snippet. And then I'll just call it something related to my article. You can put the title of your article if you want and paste it here. The reason why I do it this way is because, again, there's a limit. So here, there's character limit of 10,000. So I'm using pretty much summary of all the facts so I don't exceed that limit, and then I add it. And if you have, like, let's say a third source, you could even tell Gemini to list all of those facts, unique facts. See if it knows what to do. And this will hopefully clear out the duplicates. And this will work especially if you don't create a new chat here. So we'll see what it does. Again, this is useful if you put list all facts. It will clear up the duplicates, and that will help you with your snippet so you don't go over that maximum length of 10,000 characters. So now that we have that, let's go ahead and write a new article. There's Article Pro Writer. I would say that it's very simple. It is something that is still in beta, even though it's in version 3.1. You could play around with it, but if you want something that's more stable, I would say use Article Writer version 2 still. And then I'll put a headline. You could create your own headline, but let's use this. I could use even Katab Chat and say list 10 alternatives to this title that are extremely engaging. And then I'm just using Katab's version of ChatGPT, and then I'll just pick one. And I'll just use this one. Okay, and then article language, English, United States, I'll put 700 words. And then for the source, you could use Google, and it'll do what I mentioned earlier, where it's very similar to the manual human written process where you go ahead and look for a bunch of references online, and then you go ahead and try to gather all those ideas to create your own version of the article. In this case, I'm using snippets because, again, I'm kind of curating my information, making sure that the data is as accurate as possible. And also, I'm getting content from websites that would have otherwise been blocked through this Google fetch process, scraping process. So let's just go ahead and use the snippet I added and then select it and then suggest outline. By the way, while that's running, there are terms. Some people have run across a bunch of AI terms, like let's say as I delve into. It's very common in AI content. So you could use terms to use your own content in your own voice to replace a lot of that terminology if you wish. And then I could pick a tone. I like to add something. It's not much of a tone. It's more of a writing style to me, conversational and friendly. Put that. Don't want it to be mean. And then I'll put. You could put first person. Sometimes it'll be too personal, especially for this type of content. But let's just use it anyways. And then you'll see that all of them are now first person. They're all using my snippet, and I can pick more, but I think the thing is it tries to pick the subheadings, especially for your length of content. So let's see. I want to put some of this content, community expectations and feedback. And let's see what else. Let's see what happens if I just select that. There's 12 subheadings. Sometimes if it has too much content, it may not fill in all of the subheadings just because I set a short length of, I believe, 700 words. So let's go ahead and just start generating. And I'm guessing this will take roughly 3 to 6 minutes. And then once this is all done, I'll go ahead and resume. Okay, so the content is almost done here. What you'll see is that there's just this programming UI issue that I personally don't like, but especially for something that is in production, which means that you see this backslash here. It's an escape character in programming. They just didn't remove it. But yeah, it'd be nice if they remove that. But let's see what happens when this content is done. It's done. Let's view the article, and it's still there. So you just need to remove it. It's just an escape character. It's a programming thing. So let's go ahead and delete that. And we can look at the article here, and you could see that it has relevant facts, like it is on the street, West Shaw Avenue. We're including the square footage, which is new. Also, this pump station here. And then one thing that people might be interested in is like, how unique is this compared to the original? Let's go ahead and get this content here, and I'm going to use a tool to compare. It's an old school tool that I've used for many, many years. You could type in, let's see if I restart it, duplicate content checker. Just search for that in Google. You'll be able to find this. Again, this is used, I think, well over a decade ago, maybe over 15 years ago. Okay, let's copy this content. And I'm just going to compare it so we can see how unique it is. It's the first article. And then I'll copy this new article, put in here, and then compare, and it's 98% unique. So that's cool. So I would say final step is to go through the article, look for issues with the writing style, and just make sure that all the information here is in the way that you'd like it to be before you publish it. And this could be used for blogs, could be used for audio recordings. You could use it for even video scripts. The choice is yours. So this is, again, a review on Katab in 2024. Showed you some of the key features and how to get content, especially if these very popular news sites are blocking you, and you can create, again, content from very, very recent news, and that's how you do it. Showed you an example of how to do it in this video. So thank you for watching. This is Charles from InfoSpike.